Hey folks, it's your old buddy, your old pal, your old comrade in amateur radio, Kilo Alpha Zero, Charlie Lima Golf here, Doug. Over here with another project. It's probably my, I don't know, fourth or fifth antenna I'm trying out here over in the old QTH as it's known. So, what are we doing? We are building, boom, one of these HF kits, 250 watt. The 1 to 49 UNUN transformer kit. You can buy these off the ARRL website through HF Kits. Here's where I'm at so far. Got the old plastic boxeroo boxed in pretty good. All the hardware on it. That's a little crooked, but you know what? I don't care. As long as I get it connected right and it works. I don't care how any of this stuff looks. I really don't. No one's going to see this except me, so big deal. But anyway, this is the best I could do. I'm not that great with tools, but that's in there. Next will be winding the toroid core, making the transformer part, the 1 to 49er. So these are the parts that are left. And to me, this is the hardest part because, I don't know, I'm just, if I was a doctor, a surgeon, and they would say, okay, you're going to get your brain operated on by none other than Kilo Alpha Zero Charlie Lima Golf. I would get the hell out of there real quick because I'm one of those guys, you hand me a wrench, go change that spark plug. Well, the wrench is going to fall into the engine. The spark plug is going to get broke off into the engine. I'm no good with tools. So if I can do this, I guarantee you anybody can build one of these. I'm just saying. And the instructions that I'm using come right off the ARRL website. That's where I bought this. I don't know if I showed you that, but they go through and show you all this. It's the box. And there it is. So let's continue on with this build and get this thing to work and get this thing on the air. And I don't know. Let's see if it works better than the other stuff I've been doing. Here's the toroid core transformer wound. I think I did it right. It's got the 2 primary turns with the twisted 8-inch pair. And then there's 12 turns, 6 crossover, and 6. And here's the wires coming out, whatever they hook up to. And this assembly has been zip tied to the mounting board. And that will go in here, mount in there. Now let's go ahead and do some soldering. Okay, here it is. All the components have now been installed. Hopefully I did it right. So here's the toroid transformer with all the windings that I said previously. The wires are crimped onto these connectors. This is where the antenna hooks up back here. This is just a hanging lug. I can hang this, doesn't connect to anything. In the front, here's the SO239, which connects to the radio. And this is the counterpoise. And one of the windings from the double pair goes to, no, this is the single one on the other side of that wire that they tell you in instructions you're supposed to go 8 inches and then twist it around. So one side of that goes into the center conductor, and then the 2 twisted wires on the end go to the outer ground part of the SO239 and also the counterpoise connection. The counterpoise connection is just another long wire. So for 40 meters, I believe it's a 60-foot wire that I would connect onto that and lay that probably in the condo, I don't know, anywhere. I'll probably just lay it inside of here, run that wire inside. So I think it's hooked up right. I don't know, I guess I'll find out. The windings in here, I was 2 from the twisted wire, and then he went 6, you cross over, 6, you cross over and do the other 6, so it's 12 total windings, which should give that 1:49 ratio. It's a 2500 ohm, I think at this point, and this transformer transforms that down to 50 ohms, which the transceiver, in my case the ICOM 7300, impedance is 50 ohms. So if I did it right, this should work. So let's put the cover on, let's get the antenna hooked up, and then let's, I don't know, try it out. Whoopsie! Forgot one little thing. I had the cover on, ready to go, and I forgot to put in this capacitor right here. So the capacitor, one side goes to the center conductor of the SO239, and the other side goes to what's basically the ground side. The center point and the ground are cooked together. So it's a capacitor that goes from the center to the ground. I'm not sure what that does, but they include that in the kit, and I think it's pretty small. It's somewhere in a couple of picofarad range, pretty small, but it does, it's part of the matching network, and somehow it works, it helps. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know the technical jargon. So just to recap, let's go back and take a look at the cover. Here's the cover. And this cover goes on, like that. And they also include this piece of, I don't know, it's like rubber that you put in here to kind of seal it, if you're outside. If this is mounted outside, it's supposed to do watertight, waterproof it, So, but what I found out is these holes were too small for these screws to go in. So I had to drill these out to get the threads, to get it to thread. And that's no big deal. Not a big deal. So let's do a recap. Here's a little panoramic of all the tools used. Okay, it looks like a lot of crap here, but it did take a few tools. So we had a drill bits, a couple sizes. I had a 60-watt soldering gun, probably a little too hot, but this thing really works well, solder. And long nose pliers, crimper, pliers, and a wire cutter. A knife to scrape the enamel off the copper wire, and then also just a little screwdriver. Any kind will do, a little small Phillips. Pretty much did everything. So there it is, completed. And next we're going to get the antenna hooked up and get her going. Okay, folks, just one more thing here. So one of the things I do, and people who solder probably know this. I'm a beginner at all this. But one of the things I do before I put these crimpers on this wire is I tin the wire. And tinning is basically, you dump solder on this wire. And I can solder. I'm not the best at it, but you basically apply heat to the wire through the soldering iron, add some solder. That solder melts and it basically bonds with these braided wire. It turns it solid. And that just gives it a real good connection, especially when you crimp. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this wire, put this crimp on there, and attach this huge long antenna wire to the box. Okay, let's do it. And here it is, finished product. Here's the box, everything's installed. The antenna is hooked up. And I think this is about 60 feet, because this is the 10 through 40 meter one. So I believe it's a 60-foot piece of wire, whatever. It's going to be put up the way it is. And then this, of course, is a little insulator piece that I can use to, lash it to a tree, which, I'm not going to do. It's going to be the old 1, 2, 3, throw it over the porch and let it hang. See what happens. I got an idea about how to mount this antenna and how I'm going to do that. And we'll put that in the next video. So hopefully this works. I built it right and everything works fine. If not, as in the words of Fred Sanford, "You big dummy!"